Hi, I am Father C.M. Paul, HOD Mass Communication at Salesian College, Sonada. Today my lesson is on website planning and visual design for 4th semester CC8 Introduction to Social Media. Website planning and visual design. We shall discuss the following points: website planning, visual designing, graphic designing, difference between visual and graphic designing, basic elements of visual design, principles of design. What is website? Website is a page or collection of pages on the World Wide Web that contains specific information which was provided by one person or an entity, and it traces back to a common uniform resource locator, that is URL. Facebook and MySpace are examples of websites. What is website planning? Website planning is the process of choosing among competing opportunities for communication so that you can set overall goals for a web page. You'll need to define your web's intended audience, formulate a statement of your web's purpose and objective, and gather and maintain domain information to support your web. What is visual design? Visual design is the use of imagery, color, shapes, typography, and form to enhance usability and improve the user experience. Visual design as a field has grown out of both user interface, that is UI design, and graphic design. UI design, that is user interface design, is the look and feel, the presentation and the interactivity of a product. What do UX and UI design actually mean? UX design refers to the term user experience design, while UI design stands for user interface design. Both elements are crucial to a product and work closely together. But despite their professional relationship, the roles themselves are quite different, referring to very different parts of the process and the design discipline. User experience, that is UX, refers to any interaction a user has with a product or service. UX design considers each and every element that shapes this experience, how it makes the user feel, and how easy it is for the user to accomplish their desired tasks. What is visual design? Visual design aims to improve a design's or product's aesthetic appeal and usability with the suitable images, typography, space, layout, and color. Visual design is about more than aesthetics. Designers place elements carefully to create interfaces that optimize user experience and drive conversion. What is the role of a visual designer? Visual design encompasses multiple disciplines and is employed on a wide range of projects. They create branding projects from the ground up, develop campaigns, lead a team of designers, provide quality art and creative direction, and design apps, websites, and on-site digital experiences. Graphic design is the process of visual communication and problem solving through the use of typography, photography, iconography, and illustration. The field is considered a subset of visual communication and communication design, but sometimes the term graphic design is used synonymously. What is the difference between graphic design and visual design? The first major difference is the goal that each of these professions entails. Graphic designers aim to communicate a specific message to consumers. Visual designers, on the other hand, are responsible for crafting a unified image for the brand across digital communication platforms. What are the basic elements of visual design? The elements of visual design, like line, shape, space, volume, value, color, and texture, they describe the building blocks of a product's aesthetics. On the other hand, the principles of design tell us how these elements can and should go together for the best results. Design elements are the basic units of any visual design which form its structure and convey visual messages. Painter and design theorist Maitland E. Graves, born 1902, died 1978. He attempted to gestate the fundamental principles of aesthetic order in visual design in his book, The Art of Color and Design, published in 1941. It defined the elements of design as a line, direction, shape, size, texture, value, and color, concluding that these elements are the materials from which all designs are built. Line in design. Line is an element of art defined by a point moving in space. Lines can be vertical, horizontal, diagonal, or curved. They can be any width or texture and can be continuous, implied, or broken. On top of that, there are different types of line aside from the ones previously mentioned. For example, you could have a line that is horizontal and zigzagged, or a line that is vertical and zigzagged. Different lines create different moods. It all depends on what mood you are using a line to create. A point is basically the beginning of something in nothing. It forces the mind to think upon its position and gives something to build upon in both imagination and space. Some abstract points in a group can provoke human imagination to think it with familiar shapes or forms. Shape. A shape is defined as a two-dimensional area that stands out from the space next to or around it due to a defined or implied boundary, or because of differences of value, color, or texture. Shapes are recognizable objects and forms and are usually composed of other elements of design. For example, a square that is drawn on a piece of paper is considered a shape. It is created with a series of lines which serve as a boundary that shapes the square and separates it from the space around it that is not part of the square. Space. In design, space is concerned with the area deep within the moment of designated design. For a two-dimensional design, space concerns creating the illusion of a third dimension on a flat surface. Overlap is the effect where objects appear to be on top of each other. This illusion makes the top element look closer to the observer. There is no way to determine the depth of the space, only the order of closeness. Shading adds gradation marks to make an object of a two-dimensional surface seem three-dimensional. Highlight, transitional light, core of the shadow, reflected light, and cast shadow give an object a three-dimensional look. Linear perspective is the concept relating to how an object seems smaller the farther away it gets. Atmospheric perspective is based on how air acts as a filter to change the appearance of distant objects. Volume. Volume is the representation of mass in an artwork or a sculpture. The three-dimensional form of an object or shape is said to have volume. Artists simulate volume in their paintings to give their paintings a three-dimensional effect. Value. Value refers to light and dark, or the brightness of an area within your artwork. This can be created by shading or various other means. Understanding value and using value scales is important for increasing contrast as well as defining 3D forms. Color. Color theory is the practice of combining and mixing colors in art, aesthetics, and design. In the traditional color theory, primary colors like red, green, and blue cannot be derived from the combination of any other color, and in return, these colors constitute all other colors. Texture. Texture refers to the surface quality in a work of art. Some things feel just as they appear. This is called real or actual texture. Some things look like they are rough, but they are actually smooth. Texture that is created to look like something it is not is called visual or implied texture. Form. In visual design, form is described as the way an artist arranges elements in the entirety of a composition. It may also be described as any three-dimensional object. Form can be measured from top to bottom, that is height, side to side width, and from back to front depth. Form is also defined by light and dark. It can be defined by the presence of shadows on surfaces or faces of an object. There are two types of form: geometric form, artificial, and natural, organic form. Form may be created by the combining of two or more shapes. It may be enhanced by tone, texture, or color. It can be illustrated or constructed. Principles of design. Principles applied to the elements of design that bring them together into one design. It is called principles of design. How one applies these principles determines how successful a design may be. In conclusion, we discuss the following points. First, website. Second, website planning. Third, visual designing. Fourth, graphic designing. Fifth, difference between visual and graphic designing. Sixth, basic elements of visual design. And finally, principles of design. Thank you.
This and other episodes of Radio EduPods, Radio for Learning, are available on Listen to My Radio app at 6 p.m. from Monday to Friday and at 6 a.m. from Tuesday to Saturday. All episodes are available on Salesian TV YouTube channel. Share, like and subscribe Salesian TV, the ultimate learning resource channel.